this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill
Wait
no
a
one.
second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobuki Jake. And we're here to show you what they got.
Yeah.
Alas, no Gundam this week.
Oh.
But, as per request, I went ahead and I separated out the anime so that everybody can have their animu fix beforehand. But don't you worry, we'll be hitting our regular stuff after that. And we'll see how it goes. But let's just take a look at that animu goodness. We had a lot of
Kawaii.
we had a lot of fun stuff, and we're gonna put the ranking stuff on here as usual. Matter of fact, they're gonna both go on the same ranking list.
Right. So if you find folks who are here for everything,
Yep,
you get to see it all.
all together.
Indeed.
But y'all get to see us mess up the anime first. So as per usual, we get our priority, which is, you must get it eventually, one way or the other. It will be yours. Oh, yes. Yes, please, which is, it's on the wish list. Hopefully it will be yours. You would like it to be yours. Curious? That looks interesting. Meh. Doesn't really look all that interesting, but I'd take it for free, or I might buy that for $1. Or, hell no, ain't even worth having for free in my collection.
Hell no.
So, as hell no and priority are like the tip top and bottom, we need
Bada
exactly. We need to make sure that we both agree on those, but the others we just take the average and hopefully come up with a good vote. So I'm going to go ahead and start us off with Black Clover.
Did you show the video?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Well, I said, yeah. So, Black Clover, Season 3, Part 3. Now, this is the collector's box.
Now, I can't see anything. Are you showing stuff?
Yes, I am, and sorry about that.
Okay.
It is about, oh, come on, StreamYard. Oh, duh. Here we go. Boom. There you are.
There we go.
And there you go. Now you can see it. Now,
all right.
Now, of course, as a regular edition, I cannot imagine buying a giant box for every part of this series. Can you imagine how how that would look.
Apparently, some people can. It would look cool.
I mean, that would fill up when you get through with the series, it'd fill up an entire Billy bookcase. It would just be
Pretty much. Yeah.
It'd make the Urusei Yatsura sets look like a small series.
Actually, this is kind of almost no. This is actually less drawn out than that because these are more than 4 episodes.
That is true.
8 episodes.
Yeah, each part is 8 episodes, so I don't know about much more. But still, if you want this, you can get it for $52 for an 8-episode set. Or you can get like the standard edition for like 40 something. So hey, you know, have at you. But
Or you could do like we're doing and wait for complete season collections.
Yep, I mean shoot, I got 2 seasons in one go for a fairly low price.
Nice.
So that was worth it right there. So for me, I mean, I am eventually gonna get it. I won't get it in this format. But I am eventually going to get it. I guess I'll put the series as a whole as a yes, please. Because it's moved up in that since I now have both seasons. Yeah. The first and second season.
I honestly can't remember. Honestly. I don't know if you can remember. If I've been rating this as yes, please, or curious. It's... Given the length of the series and the overall expense, even if you did do complete series collections, it's hard to prioritize this one. I'm on the border. I will be generous and give it a yes, please, so that you don't have to move it.
I was going to say, I think that it was a curious last time, but I
can't remember, but it's close.
All right.
Next up, we have Asteroid in Love. I believe this is also a funny release. And in the long tradition of cute girls doing random things and high school clubs, mostly with cute girls doing random things, this is one about a high school astronomy club. Or, as I understand it, apparently, like a girl wants to be in the astronomy club, but it's no more, and they've merged it with the Earth Sciences Club. So I guess she has to spread the gospel of loving the sky to these people that want to study the Earth. I guess that's what it's about. This looks fun. It looks fun. I don't know that I'd heard about it before this. I like the art style decently. I'm not going to pay this price for it, but it looks like one I'd pick up for around 15 or so if I had the option. So I would certainly give that a curious.
All right. Yeah, I think I can leave it at curious. I feel like the market is flooded with these series. I don't know.
Oh, geez. Well, the angle of this one is a little different. The subject matter is a little different, so I'll give it that.
I mean, they've had one for almost every school subject.
I know.
All right. So, speaking of series boxes, Fate Grand
and pricey stuff.
Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia Box Set 1.
Say that 3 times fast.
So, it's a pretty cool looking set. I mean, they usually are. I feel like Aniplex has lowered their prices a little bit because back in the old days, this would cost probably $400. Back in the days,
I mean, you're getting 11 episodes, 12 episodes for $120. That's only $10 an episode.
I mean, I've unfortunately kind of latched myself onto this series. So it will, unfortunately, be mine. I'm hoping they'll come out with a smaller set or a regular set, but I don't know. I might just sit on it for a while, because some of these box sets, they do go out of print, but they take a little bit of time to go out of print. I need to start
on the
watching.
title, but yeah.
I mean, I've got a significant chunk of the Fate series sitting in my collection, and I've only watched a good portion of it, because I've watched the original series, which you can get dirt cheap. the Unlimited Blade Works movie, which you can get dirt cheap. And then I've watched Unlimited Blade Works, the series, and Fate Zero, which you cannot get dirt cheap.
does Sentai still have the license to those two?
I think so, because I've still seen them sold.
Because I'm willing to wager that as soon as they,
Oh yeah,
as soon as Aniplex can snatch those back, I'm sure they will.
yes,
Um,
most likely.
yeah.
I'm glad I still have
Yeah.
my two sets for
Yeah.
those. But again,
Now
I like
here's another question. How many Fate Grand Order series are there now? Do you know?
all I know is there's like a movie for it, to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
At least that's all I have in my collection.
Ah.
So, I mean, I'm eventually willing to get this. In a way, it's technically a priority, but not. I'd say it's on the borderline of yes, please, and priority. And I'll put it in priority just because I know I'm going to get it eventually, and it's going to be there, and it's going to hit me in the back of the head until I get the money to get it. But I don't know. Darn you, Aniplex.
I know. This whole thing is problematic for me. I too own the Sentai portions of the series and enjoyed them thoroughly. And as simple as it is, I kind of like the artwork of these boxes. They do have sort of a classy feel to them, if you will. And I've heard generally good to great things about the series. But there's so much of it. And it's so expensive.
Yes.
I cannot prioritize any piece of this that's owned by Aniplex except maybe some movies. I am willing to go yes, please, because if I get a deal, I will get that deal. If I see this set for $50, I think I will jump on it. But yeah,
and I will say this: the only parts of the series that Aniplex owns that I can vouch for, that I say are really good, are the two I've seen. Which because Fate Zero is the best I've seen out of the entirety. I like it more than anything else.
I saw the first episode; it was good.
And Unlimited Blade Works is pretty good. I'd really have to watch it in the original series back to back. Many actually say Unlimited Blade Works is superior to the original series because it's a retelling. I am not sure. I like both, but I have to watch them closer together.
Right. Well, also, I wonder when Aniplex gets hold of Fate Khalid Liner if it's going to sell for this price.
Well, the third season's still not been released. So
yeah, they probably are waiting on that. Yeah. So speaking of Sentai Filmworks, we have Kagaster of an Insect Cage. Now, this is another one. I don't think I'd ever heard about this, but basically, it's set in the nightmare that wiped out 2/3 of the human race 30 years ago wasn't caused by germs. It was bugs on an entirely different kind of scale. Bizarre insects that mutate their victims into half-human creatures that rapidly evolve into rampaging giant monsters. So this sounds like your wife's nightmare, the anime, from what I understand. I don't know what I think of this. It doesn't look like something I would rush to see. Given that it's a Sentai series, it will probably go on sale eventually. I might pick it up eventually. I'm willing to go curious, but it's got to come down in price, maybe $7.
I'm curious. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it's one of Sentai has those. Then they kind of mysteriously go out of print sometimes, which does bother me, especially when I've taken some series that I thought were in print and cheap and realize lately that no, they're not.
Yeah, like Angel Beats.
Beats.
I've got that.
At least Angel Beats I had long warning on.
Yeah.
But Another I didn't have long warning on that.
No, and I may have missed the boat on that one and a couple of the others. But anyway.
All right, let's get to the next one.
So from the looks of it so far, you got the good ones. But
well, I don't know. I'm not sure that you'd want Goblin Slayer.
I'm not sure either.
But this is the movie for Goblin Slayer, which is, of course, a companion to the fairly popular series, a very bloody series from what I've heard when it comes to dark fantasy. And I've heard a lot of good things about the movie. A lot of people like it. It's definitely on my list of must-gets eventually. $26, I can wait. It's a Funimation thing.
Right.
But it will be mine. Oh, yes. It will be. And I will have to put it as a priority for me because...
So not to be confused with that other Slayer series, right?
Nope, definitely not. It is very...
This is not
very...
Bamboo Girl, the movie.
Let's just say that you would have a very hard time with the first episode of this series.
Based on that reputation, which I have heard that reputation, I cannot prioritize this one by any means. I'm going to have to go with meh until I have more information.
Well, that will take it down to curious. All right.
Okay. All right.
Moving on.
And then, speaking of needing more information,
Classic.
you gave me one of the ones I didn't even look at. Okay, so we have Oedo, Cyber City Oedo 808. Contains episodes 1 through 3 of the OVA from the director of Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust and Wicked City. The year is 2808. The place, Oedo, a cybernetic megalopolis of the future, etc., etc. So, yet another post-apocalyptic tale, apparently. Futuristic, sci-fi, what have you. 1990 is, you can kind of tell from the art style that this is an old school and, not surprisingly, a discotheque release. I like how Discotheque is putting out completely random shit. I really, 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 really wish they'd get to the ones I want, like Ichiki Angel and Kiran Kazukiniki and, you know, some of those. But
yeah,
this one's a curiosity. I'm curious, but vaguely.
You know, this is the one I'd always see at Movie Stop for like $5.
Really?
Yeah, because it would always be cheap.
I don't remember seeing that.
Oh yeah, I'd see it a lot. As a matter of fact, I used to see it a lot in the cheap bins. I want to say I might even have... Well, I've got Cyber City Collection. I wonder if that's got anything to do with it. I'll check it out when we get to your turn again. And so this next one, which I debated, but I thought, it's like, this is one that Jacob probably wouldn't have much interest in because you really have to play the game in order to actually get anything out of this. Matter of fact, I own a copy of this because it came with the game.
Oh, wow.
Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy 15 4K, which, by the way, Right Stuff does not have. That's why it's at Amazon, but I do consider it an anime. So this was okay. It wasn't anything special. It's definitely not the best Final Fantasy movie out there. And if you're not going to play Final Fantasy 15, don't bother. That's my review of it. Though it looks very pretty, very pretty.
It does. So I'm going to put vaguely curious on the minimal chance that I ever get around to playing the game. Like you said, it looks pretty.
Actually, yeah, and for me, it would still have to remain a priority only because it's because I own the game and it has to.
Yeah,
it's a piece of the story. So I guess it will be in there.
Sure. Why not?
It is what it is.
So is it like basically an extended cutscene directly from the game?
Actually, it's a prequel.
A prequel. Okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
so theoretically, you could
So-
watch it without, but yeah.
Right. So speaking of returning to the subject of old school discotheque, we have the second collection of Hajime no Ippo, The Fighting, which of course is a boxing drama that we covered the first release of this a while back. This collection contains 25 to 48. Is this the remainder of the series or just the next in the collection?
I don't know how many are in that, but
I
it's a.
don't remember either.
I know that.
Yeah, it may not be the rest of it. Let me look that up. But it is a series that's very, very well known. I know that it's generally considered one of the. I don't know if I necessarily want to say it's considered one of the great sports anime, but it's definitely one of the better known ones, and I feel like it's generally well regarded. And I enjoy a good sports anime. So I'd be willing to give it a go eventually. This is from 2000 to 2002. Anime News Network lists 76 episodes, so I guess this is volume 2 of 3. So yeah, keep that in mind before sinking your funding into this one. But yeah, I would say 3-part collection. One could do worse. I'm on the border between yes, please, and curious. Do you remember what I rated part 1?
I'm not sure. I know I rated it yes, please, but
I think I did too. We'll go with that.
because it's been on my radar forever.
Right.
It's just
right.
it's just been so expensive to collect it. I mean, this way it's probably not super. It's still somewhat expensive, but when you
Right.
compare it to say $119 for 11 episodes, it's actually not that bad.
No, and this one ANN listed as Fighting Spirit, and wasn't that the name it originally was released under?
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's where it kind of like threw me for a loop when it first released. I was like, what?
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
There. So
Okay.
we both got a Lupin one this time.
Yeah?
Another one that was on those sets.
And I do own this, I believe.
So Lupin the Third, Missed by a Dollar, is being re-released. Again, I consider them all good, but I consider them all of about even quality. There are a few Lupin movies that stick out as really good, but none that tell me like, ugh, terrible. It's usually it's good or it's pretty good. That's about the range that they usually fall in normal, and that's where I would probably rank this because I don't remember it very well. And I will remember if something is hated, and I'll remember if something is loved.
I think I remember this one. This was the one set in New York, and it was part of the Final Hall collection. I enjoyed everything in the Final Hall collection.
I mean,
Yeah.
most of them are enjoyable. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they're about even quality. I don't know if any that I hated.
Right.
I haven't seen any Lupin that I've hated yet. So for me, if I didn't have it, it would be a priority because I always collect all Lupin. I do have it, but if I didn't have that set, it would definitely be bought like right away. All Lupin is priority for me.
I kind of wish I had made more of an effort myself. I have a good Lupin collection, but not a great Lupin collection. I do have this title. But I would definitely give that a yes, please. I feel like if you enjoy Lupin even a little, it's a perfectly solid entry in the series. Not anything at all like the next one that's coming up, though. The one that I have seen. Oh, no, I haven't seen this. I misunderstood what was on the list. And you wrote down a different one. Okay, I don't know why we thought it was the woman called Fujiko Mine, but it is a Fujiko centered one. But this is the film, not a series. but I believe it's a direct tie-in to the series The Woman Called Fujiko Mine. This is called Lupin the Third, Fujiko's Lie. Or as I'm sure you would call it, Lupin the Third, what, Fujiko's in this scene? Because if she's there, you know she's lying. I very much enjoyed The Woman Called Fujiko Mine, but it was a very dark, different take on the series.
Yeah.
And I understand that these movies, this one, Jigen's Gravestone, and all those, they're very dark. They're very much more adult-oriented. I've heard good things about this movie, and I very much want to get it. All of these movies are on my high to get list, my yes please list. I just have not prioritized them. If I had been paying more attention and known that this was coming out, I might have prioritized it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's tricky. It's like right on the border. I haven't ordered it. I can't guarantee I will order it at the next opportunity. But I guarantee I will order it the next time I see it on sale. And so I'll leave it to you if you want to call that a yes, please. Or and you have the wrong thumbnail too.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. We'll say it's a placeholder for it.
I need to double check something on that because there is something else. Let's see. Yeah, A Woman Called Fujiko Mine, which is... by the way, that series is also being released on the 30th. So,
okay. So they're doing a re-release of that?
That is also being re-released. So, so it just... I got confused because they were releasing them both very close together.
Okay, well, let's see here then. Fujiko's Lie is... Yep, same day. No, that was released last year. Okay, so we just got really confused. Fujiko's Lie came out last year.
Oh, last year, 2020. Never mind. Okay, so it's the Fujiko Mine that's being released today.
So you got confused and you got me confused because of it.
Yeah, that one's being
Fujiko
Mine, which is a good.
That being the case, yes, The Woman Called Fujiko Mine is one that I can't rightly call priority because I didn't rush out to get it, but I certainly got it quickly enough. So yes, please works fine.
Of course, as for anything, if I didn't have it, it would be a priority. I need to double check and see if I have that Fujiko movie. I feel like I have.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen it, but not the series. I've got to just double check on that. Oh, well.
I was confused too because I could have sworn the movie came out already, but I saw it and I was like, really?
So
okay.
So we got it all taken care of. We're moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of movies that are in the priority level, Made in Abyss, they have a steelbook for the theatrical collection of movies. I want to say there's 3 of them or something. Let's see. Made in Abyss contains 3 anime movies. So 3 of them: Journey to Dawn, Wandering Twilight, and Dawn of the Deep Soul. Now, I've heard a lot of amazing things about this.
Yeah.
It's Sentai, so I'm willing to give it a little bit of time. But it's one that I've got to keep on my radar because I really don't want this to sell out. So I'm probably going to do like I do with most of these type of sets that are, that are in the rarity thing. Though a lot of their steelbooks have stepped. The fact that this is the only release that they're doing of this so far does make me kind of worried that it might go out of print. So it's
don't forget how fast the deluxe edition of the series went out of print.
So I'm probably going to wait until the first sale, but it's definitely like right up there. It is going to be there. So though I'm willing to wait that long, I'm going to be keeping my eye on it, and if I hear that it's going out of print, I'm going to get it at that price. So with that being said, Is that the one? I think that's
Yeah.
the one. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put it as a priority because I will have to get it. I want to complete the series, and I've heard the movies are spectacular. So I want to see them.
And I myself would really like to start getting some Sentai Steelbooks. I just feel like they charge so much for the Steelbooks.
Yeah, I know. They
Um,
don't go on sale as
and
well
this,
either.
no, they don't. They hold the prices a lot more than usual. Uh, I would say I learned my lesson from the series. I'm going to jump on this, but I apparently didn't. um, I'm still going to agree with you on that because I will not let this go for long. I want those movies, and if it looks like that's my only option, I might be willing to pay a little extra. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a priority.
Yeah.
You get to end our anime.
Yes, we end with a whimper. So we have Submarine Super 99, Discotheque release. I think this is a 2003, like '03
Yep.
vintage. 13 episode series about basically submarine operators off the eastern side of Japan. I know almost nothing about this, but it looks like it could be entertaining enough. I'm willing to give it a curious.
I mean, I'm used to the artist there. I collect a lot of
Yeah.
stuff from that person's work, but
Hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of a curiosity.
Yeah.
Uh,
There we go.
Well, that's our animu for you for the week.
Hmm.
But
Pretty good start.
for those of you for the rest of this, let's take a look.
Yes.
Up early in the morning, get on my routine, taking care of business so I can get on my way. I got the kids on my mind, and it's just what I find. It seems like my day, we got the itch to find them all. We'll make a move. So come along, collect the way from retro to today. I'm making that work so I can trade. I'm checking Craigslist every day. eBay ain't what it used to be, and Goodwill's got them on display. Some say I got a problem, but I don't see it that way. Some say I got a problem. Yeah, I'm missing Mega Man 3. We got the itch to find them all. We're making moves, so come along, collect the way from retro to today. We got the itch to find them all. We're making moves, so come along, collect the way from retro to today.
All right, so that was a look at our other stuff, and we'll go
Yeah.
ahead and get started. Unlike
Mm-hmm.
previous weeks, we are not covering everything, but we didn't have a lot. I didn't have a ton to use to catch up with, so
Mm-hmm.
I think we've got a
All
good
right.
selection. So
I think so.
I'm starting us off with one that I really am conflicted about because I don't like it. And that is An American Werewolf in London getting its limited steelbook. I'm not going to dwell too much on it because
All
we
right.
covered this before. It got pushed back. I recognize
So
the
this is the same release, right? I thought it looked
yeah,
familiar
because
too.
that
Yeah.
cover is identical. So yeah.
Yeah.
So it says it was pushed back. For those of you who really love this, you go for it. It is an Oscar winner, so it is up there. I do consider it a must on horror. I just do
Mm-hmm.
not like it. So I will say it's a yes, please, because it is an Oscar winner. I would have to have it in my collection if it wasn't in there already. But I own it on Blu-ray
Pretty sure
already,
that
so yeah.
pretty sure that's what I said too.
Yep. So moving on.
Next up, we have A Pain in the Ass. What more do you need to know? The movie's called A Pain in the Ass. Who wouldn't want that? I mean, from what I understand, I think it's like a hitman on a train or some such thing. Like, and he's being annoyed by this real pain in the ass. That's all I know about it. The title amused me. This is a Kino release, isn't it?
It is a Kino. It looks like a Kino release. Let me double
Yeah, it looks
check.
like a Kino release.
It is.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Usually I see
So
their
there's a
logo.
there's a good chance it'll go on sale eventually. And when it does, I will get that. It's like, well, maybe not right away. This time around, I was hair's breadth away from ordering Lord Loveduck, and I waited because of funding issues. But this is in that same category. So I'm going to say yes, please. Because I will get it eventually.
I'll go curious. I might pick it up on a whim,
Right.
but I can't
Right.
guarantee that.
Right.
All right, so moving on. Frightmare. There's been a lot of
Ooh.
Severin releases lately,
Uh-huh.
like a whole bunch. But but this one is not one. Actually, I don't think I've covered any of the Severin releases this time around. But
Weird.
there are a couple of Vinegar Syndrome, and this is one of them. The Ultimate Nightmare. So Conrad
So
Radzol.
you threw that out about Severin just to get all the Severin fans worked up before dashing their
Well,
hopes.
that they'll have at least seen their titles flash by in the slideshow. So I did pay lip service to them at least, and but you know that you've
Right.
got stuff coming. So hey,
Right.
and they're hard to get a hold of. Not only hard to get a hold of, hard to freaking buy. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're a Severin fan, you know that already. You know where to get them. So Conrad Radzoff was the biggest name in horror movies for decades until one day he died of a heart attack. Determined to celebrate his life and death, the members of a local horror film society steal his freshly buried corpse and decide to host a party in his honor at their old and lavish mansion, as you do. Unaware that Radzoff's interest in horror extended beyond the silver screen and into the black arts, his corpse is soon reanimated and he begins extracting a bloody revenge against those who disturbed his final resting place. Now, this is pretty cool, though. It's got a lot of cool special features on here. I mean, you can see them here listed, and that's pretty awesome right there. I'll hide that because it's there. Let's see. You can still see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So yeah, I don't know. It looks fun. I like these. I mean, that's pretty cool as well. I don't know. It's something. He's kind of like dressed like Dracula on this.
Right.
I mean, Vinegar Syndrome has some pretty cool stuff. I like the concept. I like a good horror film. I would say that this is a definite curious for me. I like the cover too.
Well, I don't particularly care for the cover. I was all poised to say hell no, but I've got just enough curiosity to raise it to a meh.
All right, moving on.
Okay. Okay. A Perfect Planet, which is yet another in the long line of excellent BBC productions narrated by David Attenborough, who always can be counted on to throw some very intriguing pronunciations your way. But the story of Earth's power and fragility. These almost always are in the yes please category for me. I can't guarantee that I would rush out and get it, especially at 37. But then again, it looks like it will be well worth a look, and 4K probably is the way to watch these
Yeah.
kind of shows. So I'll give it a yes, please.
Any newer, any of the newer ones,
Yeah.
Planet Earth, I
Yeah.
would say 4K is probably not necessary, but anything past Blue Planet 2, definitely
Right.
4K. There's no doubt.
Mhm.
And for Blue Planet, Blu-ray all the way.
Right.
So and Planet Earth. The only issue that people might take with these series, which is not an issue I take, but many
No.
many who are deniers of climate change or man's contribution to our problems on the earth might have an issue with it. So if you're one of those people, I just want to give you a friendly heads up that this one will probably end up pissing you off more than being just a fun nature documentary. So just a heads up to y'all people, but for the rest of the world, y'all are good.
Right.
All right. So this one
All
has an
right.
interesting story. Girl Interrupted. I have an interesting history with this movie. It's an Angelina Jolie movie. It's an amazing movie about mental health, borderline personality, and probably one of the best. People always point to, gosh, what was that one? The movie where the person she kills the rabbit and puts it in the stew pot. God, what was that?
Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about.
You see,
Oh
my mind is
man,
now like
scrolling.
blanked it.
Wait, wasn't that this one?
No.
Wasn't it like one of the other patients was released and she did that because she wasn't properly acclimated?
I mean, this was more. This was a the one that was there is because she had that obsession with the guy, because he ended
Right.
up sleeping with her, and then of course she kills the family pet and puts it in the stew pot because she wants to torture the wife.
Oh, I don't know which one you're talking about then.
It's a famous one, but I can't think of the movie. But this one here is I think a better depiction of borderline personality disorder. Because it's more realistic. I mean, you're not going to have a bunch of people butchering animals and putting them in stew pots as your
No.
typical borderline personality. Most people are semi-functional. So to me, it's an excellent film on many levels, and probably one of Jolie's better performances too.
Didn't she win the Oscar for that?
I don't think it did. It win anything? I don't think it won any Oscars.
I thought, yep, she did.
Okay, well, then more reason to get it. It's an excellent film. I mean, when I first did this, I took a friend to see it. We were going to see Scream 3, I want to say, but it was sold out. And we ended up seeing this in the theater instead. And I'm not sure I considered it a cheer-up movie, but she did feel better afterwards, so I guess it worked. But this one, I would say is a priority. I think if I didn't have it, I would definitely get it. I'm not sure whether I'll upgrade it to Blu-ray, but it is one of the higher one of the films I hold in high regard. So yeah.
Man, I'd forgotten how many people were in that movie. Holy crap! You got I remembered Kurtwood Smith, but you got Mary Kay Place, Whoopi Goldberg, Vanessa Redgrave, Jeffrey Tambor, Jared Leto, Elizabeth Moss, the late Brittany Murphy, Clea Duvall, and then of course Winona Ryder is your star.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie. That it's a heck of a movie. It really is. I've always thought it was a pretty solid movie. I think I would agree. If you don't have the movie, I'd say it's a priority.
Fatal Attraction, I believe, is the one I'm thinking.
Okay.
So, yeah, that
I still haven't seen that.
Yes,
I need to see it.
That's it. That's the one. And
Okay.
but yeah, and the field that I'm in, a lot of people point to that one. I think this one is a much better.
Right. Okay. Another one that has to deal with psychology of some form or another. So we have the film by Thomas Vinterberg, very, very much a surprise nominee in this year's Oscar race. Wait, there is a Blu-ray?
Apparently,
I was told there was.
that's what Amazon is saying here.
Yeah, no, shame on you, Best Buy. They only had a DVD release. Well, anyway, Thomas Vinterberg's Another Round, nominated for director and international film. This is a movie that has been raved about by critics and movie snobs for several months. And it was a front runner in the foreign language, well, now they call it international film, international feature, whatever race. But surprise, director nod. It stars Mads Mikkelsen. And actually, the two of them did a movie called The Hunt that came out about 7 years ago that I've heard was really awesome, and I need to see that as well. But this one, have not seen it yet, partly because I want to see it before the Oscar race. I ordered it from Best Buy. It should be arriving next week.
Yep.
So this one, by definition, I can call it a priority because it was pre-ordered. But I would almost go that just based on the general reputation that this film has had so far, it has been nothing but good things I've heard. Supposedly it's one of Mikkelsen's best performances, and he is a solid actor. So I'm curious about this, but like I said, I did actually pre-order. So
Well, if you were paying attention on the screen, you can tell I did the same. So it's one I am very interested in, and I'll admit I may not have pre-ordered it if I wasn't, prepping for the Oscars, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So,
Right.
All right. Any case, speaking of
And
Oscars, The Greatest Show on Earth is getting another of those Paramount treatments.
Right.
They have that line that they have the thing with the fold out of their poster on there, which that looks pretty cool. And it is
That does.
It is a pretty good movie. I actually enjoyed it, and it's worth definitely what you pay. You can even see where it says you got to collect them all, but I don't know if I want to collect them at 22 apiece. But
Gotta collect them all.
But yeah, there's a lot of them out there. So shoot. Pretty in Pink out there too. So that's kind of cool. And Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
So we got a whole bunch of those out there. I would say that this is a movie that most people should have in their collection. I would say definitely a yes, please. It is an Oscar winner after all.
Best Picture winner, and widely regarded as one of the Best Picture winners that has debatably should have won. One of the ones that hasn't aged as well as some of the others. But like you said, it's an entertaining enough film. James Stewart gives a really good performance as a clown that's part of the circus, if I'm remembering correctly. I might be getting that mixed up.
Bring him in.
But was that?
Bring in the clowns.
Exactly. Not your happy-go-lucky clown, but not quite Gags the clown either. Somewhere in between.
Oh, Pennywise.
So anyway, next up we got. Oh, and by the way, I agree. Yes, please, because it's an Oscar winner.
Okay.
Next up, we have the Bad News Bears, the old school one from 1976, the one that featured Walter Matthau as the schlubby, down on his luck guy that ends up running a ragtag team of precocious youngsters led by Tatum O'Neal and a much younger Jackie Earl Haley. This is a really fun movie. I enjoy it. I never have seen the remake with Billy Bob Thornton. I need to one of these days. But this is where it all started. If you enjoy a baseball story, if you enjoy a sports kids kind of underdog story, wow, this one has an interview with Kevin Smith. That's kind of cool. And an interview with Jackie Earl Haley. Yeah, it looks like this will be a pretty cool addition to get from the look of it. So if you like the movie at all, or if you saw the Linklater remake and you wanted to know where it started, or if you're just a fan of Walter Matthau or Jackie Earl Haley or one of them, I'd say give this this is a good looking addition. I'm tempted to upgrade myself. I'm borderline on whether I would give this a yes, please, but I'll give it a low yes, please.
I know it's interesting. This is one I think should have got one of those VHS cover releases.
Yeah, that would have looked cool. Yeah,
but I have never seen it. I've never seen it or the remake. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at yes, please. It's on the borderline because I've never seen it before, but I've heard so much about it that I feel like it probably should be in the collection, so I can leave it there. Oh, that'd be nice.
Good times.
All right, Boris Karloff's Isle of the Dead, a Warner Archive Collection release. So, they've been doing pretty good about doing these. They've been kind of releasing them at a fairly high price point, but still, it's good to see a lot of these being back in print. Once you visit the Isle of the Dead, there is no hope of returning to the land of the living. A small island off the coast of Greece holds a secret of dread so dreadful that once you step onto its soil, you must remain there forever. It looks interesting. I've gotten, I like a good Boris Karloff film. I need to collect more of his stuff. So it's definitely got my high curiosity up on that. Most definitely.
I've actually read that this is an atypical role for him and that it's actually one of his better roles, according to some. It looks intriguing. I'm right on the border between yes, please, and curious, but not knowing much more about it, I'll leave it at curious. But
I'd have to see it before I could really.
Right. Okay. The Bermuda Depths. This, if I remember correctly, is, I want to say it was a TV movie. I want to look that up again and figure out why. Well, it has Carl Weathers. I know that's one of the reasons I wanted it. But, yeah, director Sugunobu Kotani, credited as Tom Kotani. Interesting. But, yeah, I read the IMDb description. Scientists investigating the briny deep are threatened by a giant turtle and the spirit of a young brunette swimmer in the Bermuda Triangle.
Gamera.
I'm like, okay.
What year was it?
1978. Yep, you got Carl Weathers, Leigh McCloskey, Connie Selica, Burl Ives is in there. Okay, it gets better and better. I I don't know what I will make of this, but it intrigues me. I'm going to give that a strong curious.
Yeah, I could definitely give it a curious with that. You know something weird? The late
Huh?
70s and most of the 80s, there was this odd fascination with the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know
Oh
if you
yeah,
realize that. It's like there
actually,
was a lot of stuff out with the Bermuda Triangle
well,
this year.
or even just like that title, like the year before that was the film The Deep, which was based on the book by Peter Benchley. But that came out just the year before that, 1977. That was Jacqueline Bisset and Nick Nolte, and I have seen that. It's pretty good.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
All
Mhm.
right, so we're going to some steely books. So,
Oh.
Mortal Kombat
Ooh.
is getting a 2-film steelbook collection, Blu-ray collection, from
Very
Best
interesting,
Buy
but
for
stupid.
$14.99. Now, I'm planning on doing a
Okay.
Best Buy order after I get paid, and you'll see the reason
Mhm.
why. And because of the
Mhm.
price, it's probably going to be on there. Though right
That's
now it does
tempting.
not look like I can. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can buy it. Might be out. It might already be sold out. Well,
Oh wow.
that's let me
Well,
put.
you can have it sent from another location. Just might
Let's
take a
see
while.
here. Yeah, there is a couple that have it.
Yeah.
So, it might be worth checking out.
Mm.
But yeah, that's pretty impressive that the pre-orders are almost all done already.
Mhm.
That's
Mm.
that's a popular thing, but I can't really order it until I get paid. So, I think it's because of the new one that's coming out.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
but still, I have never seen the second one, but I kind of have a love hate with the first one. So
So to clarify, we're talking Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat Annihilation
yeah.
from the 90s.
Mortal Kombat. I'll
Yeah.
probably go with a yes, please, because if it goes out of print before I can get to it, then so be it.
Right.
But if I get paid and it's still in print enough for me to grab it,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll probably grab it. So,
We recently had a discussion about this with our Movies Galore cohorts. I can't remember if it was on or off the air, but we had this discussion where we were talking about these movies. The first one is a series of decent to flat out brilliant set pieces strung together with the barest excuse for a plot. And it's entertaining. The second one is an unmitigated train wreck of epic proportions, but it's still entertaining in a bad way. So I can't go yes please because of the second one, but on the other hand, that steelbook looks so nice.
doesn't it though?
I'll be generous and let you keep it there.
All right. I could
Okay, now for something very similar. Very similar. We have Bertrand Tavernier's My Journey Through French Cinema, a Cohen Media release that I believe is getting a proper release through Kino, if I'm not mistaken. And as I understand it, I believe Tavernier basically it's like a documentary of his experiences with French films, if I'm understanding it correctly. So, yeah, the Mortal Kombat crowd will be first in line.
Oh,
But
I do have it.
I admit, I do want to see this. It could be very interesting. It could be very enlightening. And if Kino is in fact handling the release, I would be more than happy to snap up this particular release when it goes on sale. I'm going to actually go with yes, please, for that one.
I cannot. Just on principle, I can give it a curious, but
Okay.
that's as good as I can give it.
You got to have principles.
So, speaking of principles, one of the ones that I
Yes.
put on as a filler, another Vinegar Syndrome, Nightmare Weekend.
Hmm.
So, again, it looks interesting. Brilliant computer
Hmm.
scientist just finished work on the greatest creation, a supercomputer with the ability to transform the personalities of bad and disobedient people. In anticipation of sharing his work with the scientific community, the scientist invites a fellow expert to test the machine on a group of debauched young women. Little does he know that his colleague intends to use the computer to turn the subjects into bloodthirsty mutants.
As they do.
And it's a French crew, so
Yeah.
there you go. It connects. See, doesn't that look lovely?
I wonder if this one's featured in that film. Oh, that was an unpleasant picture.
I mean, there's a little tarantula there.
Ooh, very nice, very
You
nice.
know, I guess he's
Okay.
doing something there.
Clearly.
Then you got that, and yeah, it looks. I'm kind of a low curious on it. It's kind of like I like the cover.
I like the cover. It doesn't look like it does anything at all to let you know what the movie's actually about. But I do like the cover. I like that it's a Vinegar Syndrome release. It feels like it makes it collectible. I I have heard, I read about this. It's apparently a pretty awful movie. I don't have a strong curiosity for this, but I'd buy that for $1.
All right.
So
There you go.
yeah,
All
there you go.
right.
Okay, here we are. Lust Caution. I believe it's actually called Sejier. This is a film from 2007 by Ang Lee. It was his follow-up to Brokeback Mountain. And it stars Tony Leung, Joan Chen, and Wei Tang, who Wei Tang gives a phenomenal performance that should have been Oscar nominated, for which she was blacklisted by the Chinese government for several years thereafter. This is a very, very controversial movie in China, and I believe it still is. I could be wrong, but it is one of the films that I thought Criterion would eventually release, but it is coming out through the Kino Lorber Studio Classics line. This is one that I'm going to be looking for it to go on sale. I have it on DVD, but I would love to upgrade it and get a nice collector's edition in the bargain. It is a very good film. It's a very difficult film to watch. It's about the years of the Japanese occupation of China, where Leung, if I remember correctly, plays a high-ranking official who is targeted by a group of dissidents. Tang plays a student who's recruited by them to go undercover, and she does in more ways than one. I would give this, you're trying to figure out where to put that. I will absolutely give this a priority. It is a classic film. It needs to be seen. It needs to be in the collection, and I will upgrade it. So,
Well, I know I can't give it a priority because I'm not going to. I'm not going to get it automatic. I don't have it, but I'm not going to get it like right away. Nor am I even keeping an eye on it necessarily. I almost would put it at a meh, but you've talked me up to a curious. So I'll leave it
All
at that,
right.
and that'll put you at a yes, please.
Okay.
All right. So, Nosferatu in Venice. This one appears to only have a DVD release, but it looks like there is going to be a Blu-ray release in the near future. For those of you really wanting. I think in April.
Oh, that's also Severin?
Yep. So there you go. It's a Severin release.
Oh.
There you go, you peoples. They love Severin.
Yeah.
What was intended to be an unofficial sequel to Werner Herzog's Nosferatu instead became one of the most notoriously fascinating productions in Eurocult history. Klaus Kinski, now fully in the grip of the batshit crazy phase of his career, gives his penultimate performance as a legendary vampire resurrected in modern day Venice, and with an insatiable hunger for warm blood and rough sex, as they do. Donald Pleasance
Donald Pleasance and
and
Christopher
Academy
Plummer?
Award winner
Wow.
Christopher Plummer star in this surreptitious, it's like sumptuously insane shocker that features music by Oscar winner Vangelis. Well, the guy who did
Yeah.
Chariots of Fire. Employed 5 different directors, including Mario Ciano, Luigi Cozzi, writer-producer Augusto Caminito, and reportedly Kinski himself. So, this one...
Wow, I didn't know it had that much pedigree to it.
This one has a lot of curiosity to me.
Yeah.
I can't quite give it anything higher. I need to see it first.
Right.
But definitely a very high curious for me.
That is a solid curious for me too. That just screams insane.
Yes, it
And
is.
Severin, it's going to be collectible. It's
Yes,
a nice
indeed.
looking cover.
It is.
Yeah.
Might be worth waiting.
Very
for the
classy.
Blu-ray. There you go.
Right?
Speaking of classy,
Okay, speaking of classy looking covers, Perdita Durango, film directed by some guy, Alex de la Iglesia. This one also goes by the alternate title. I think it's Dance with the Devil, is
Yep.
what IMDb. Yeah. Co-stars is 97 release. Co-stars Rosie Perez and Javier Bardem, and also features, among other people, James Gandolfini and Demian Bashir. I mean, how's that for a cast? That is pretty incredible cast.
another Severin.
What happened?
Another Severin too.
I know, and look, if you look at the description of the actual stuff about it, the other thing that intrigues me is that the character Perdita Durango, who's played by Perez, is apparently a character who showed up in Wild at Heart. Another thing we recently talked about in Movies Galore with the David Lynch film from 1990. And so that tie-in there has me intrigued as well. I can't admit that this looks like something I would rush out to get. I might not even enjoy it all that much. But it's a Severin release. I like the look of it. I like the cast. This one definitely gets a high curious for me.
I'll give it a low curious. We'll meet in the middle.
All right. Mm-hmm.
All right. The Projectionist.
Okay.
So, this is one that had my interest up. I know it had your interest up, but for sake of evening out numbers, since you didn't put it
Right.
as a super priority to cover, I was like, okay, I need to use this to cover. This documentary portrait of theater operator Nicolau moves from 1970s Times Square adult film houses through the decades of city regulation, chain takeovers, and cultural shifts, charting a charming odyssey through the history of film exhibition in New York City. Del Ferreira traces the life and work of a friend and fellow cinephile Niccolo, a Cypriot immigrant who began working as a teenager in a small neighborhood movie theater around Manhattan, defying gentrification, changing viewing habits, and corporate dominance in the 1980s, only to emerge decades later as one of New York City's last independent theater owners. I really want to see this. I find this interesting. It's a Kino project, so you know it's probably going to be on sale. It'll probably be up there. I mean, there's a couple of them that are in the back of my mind that once the sale is going on, that they're the front line, and this is one of those. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I like anything to do with film history, except for the French film one.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I have to say, is probably going to be a yes please for me because it's going to be one I'm on the lookout for, and that's the definition of yes please. So yeah.
I'm willing to agree with that. I mean, again, Kino release, I'll be looking for it to go on sale, but it looks nice and it intrigues me.
All right.
Next up, I think this is also a Kino release. They got a bunch of stuff this week.
It's a
So we got-
Kino-ish look, I can tell you.
Right. We got a movie called Rosebud. And then before I go and mention all the stuff about it that had my curiosity up, this is one of the things more than anything else that had my curiosity up. When I looked it up on IMDb, the user review they chose to put on the front page gave it a 1 out of 10 rating, and they wrote, "Let us forget this happened and never speak of it again." But it's an Otto Preminger film from 1975, where it stars Peter O'Toole, Richard Attenborough. You got Adrian Corey is in there, Isabel Huppert, Kim Cattrall. I mean, that's a pretty impressive cast right there. And then you got a few others mixed in too. But I just absolutely intrigued. IMDb, some people say it's a masterpiece and some people absolutely despise it. It's apparently a very, 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 very divisive film. But given the pedigree alone, Otto Preminger, Peter O'Toole, Richard Attenborough, I mean, I feel like it's worth a look.
Yeah.
And the fact that some people run screaming at its mention just amuses me. So I'll give it a curious.
I'm a curious. I want to see a movie about the sled. I mean, it's an important sled.
Right.
So
Obviously, that's what it's about.
and by the way, that's a spoiler for a movie, but only if you know which one.
A movie.
A movie.
A movie.
So another one that's a big one is the 4K of Charlton Heston into 10 Commandments, a Cecil B. DeMille film.
See, there's one where they put the spoiler right there on the cover.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Now, if you read the book, you know, it's a very similar to the book.
Yes, really long and meandering.
But it is a classic film. I think it is one that should be here. And I'm looking right now. You see,
I didn't get smited. Okay.
There's a part of me that likes the concept of it, but I like the set I have because the Cecil B. DeMille did 2 Ten Commandments. He did one earlier in the 20s. And it's on the set I have, which is a beautiful set.
Wait, go down.
And it doesn't seem to be on here. So
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, I was looking
I
for
don't
it.
see it either.
That's why I immediately went to the special features. I was like, I gotta see if it's there. But I just can't bring myself to upgrade without that extra. So, though, let's say I didn't have the film.
Right.
I would say anybody who doesn't have the film should have this film.
Oh yeah.
It is considered one of the highest rated films out there. It is a big, I mean, it is a big film. I would say priority, because 10 Commandments is a priority film. The Charlton Heston version, not the 1920s version. I just like having that extra, and that set still has some exquisite special features, and is an exquisite set in general. So you know which one I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. The movie is a little bit overbaked and it hasn't aged as well as we would like. but it is, for all intents and purposes, DeMille's magnum opus.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as a piece of cinema history, yeah, you gotta have it. So, I'll go priority. Why not?
All right.
So, next up, we have Wheeler, which is a
Let's grab it.
mockumentary, apparently. Stephen Dorff went to Nashville under the name Wheeler and made himself a country singer and filmed the experience as a documentary. So it's kind of like a combined mockumentary documentary. And so I'm very intrigued by that idea, that concept. I have no idea if this is a great film or not. From the look of it, I'm guessing this is a Gravitas release.
Yeah, and actually a fairly well-priced Gravitas.
Wow, that's amazing. It's normally priced.
What, no $50 for the Blu-ray?
Right. I'm actually very intrigued by this. I love me a good mockumentary and I love me a good documentary, and one that kind of straddles the line. Sounds like a fun idea, and it's probably got some good music into the bargain. So I'd give that a strong curious.
I can go with that. All right, moving on. The Toll. Dun 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 dun. All right, that was a good. I love this cover. This cover alone. Everyone pays in the end.
If we don't get no tolls, we don't eat no rolls. I made that up.
I don't know what it's about, and apparently neither does Amazon.
And neither do I.
So I guess I will have to look it up on IMDb real quick. I mean, darn you.
It's a 2020 release.
Yep, so it could be up for Oscar consideration if they hadn't already, thrown it out. Oh, that was the problem. Because they included those first 2 months, the toll was left off.
Yeah.
So a socially awkward driver and wary passenger try to make it to their destination while being haunted by a supernatural threat. Ooh, that sounds fun. I in general, I have a high curious for this because it looks fun, and I like a good supernatural thriller type film, and this looks like it will supply both of those.
I have to admit, this one did not catch my interest at all the first go around. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm still going to go meh, but it's a solid meh. I mean, I'd pay $1 for that.
All right, moving right along.
Okay. We have apparently a fat bunch of stuff coming from Criterion this week, and I really wish you had put the re-release first, but whatever. We'll do them in order. We have a movie from 1991, if memory serves correctly, which is a really, really, really good movie. A James L. Brooks film called Defending Your Life, which I discovered quite by accident when I was still at the old RC. And they had it in the library, and I watched it, and I was like, "Ooh, I like this movie." But it's a dark comedy about what happens after you die. You go to a place in the middle called Judgment City, and then you see what happens. Is there love after death? Acerbic everyman Albert Brooks finds a perfect balance between satirical bite and romantic comedy charm. As the writer, director, this is an Albert Brooks. I guess James L. Brooks is like a producer, maybe. I know I associate it with him. Anyway, so writer, director, star of this wonderfully warm and imaginative existential fantasy. After he dies, suddenly the hapless advertising exec, Daniel Miller, finds himself in Judgment City, a gleaming way station where the newly deceased must prove they lived a life of sufficient courage to advance in their journey through the universe. And he meets a woman played by Meryl Streep who gives him that extra push he needs. He also got Rip Torn in a pretty hilarious role in this one. It's got a few extra features. There's some nice. They've got an interview with a theologian, which is kind of an interesting bonus feature for this one. I wish they had gone a little stronger on their release with the bonus features, but I was excited when I saw that this was on the Criterion slate. I do already have it on DVD, but it is worth an upgrade, and I would actually consider possibly this July putting this on. We'll see how things go in July, but it's definitely one that I want to upgrade. I want the Criterion release. I would almost rank this as a priority. Since I'm not rushing to get it, I don't know if I can.
I mean,
It's a solid. Huh?
Will you eventually get it? If,
I will be getting it.
Yeah,
I will be
the
getting
question
it. Yes.
is, will you eventually get it?
I'll call it a priority then, if only because it's the Criterion release.
I can say I saw this back around the time it was coming to home theaters, I guess you could say. And I don't remember a lot of it. I know that my wife likes it a lot, and I will probably also be getting it because of that. And therefore, I guess it's a priority because I will be getting
All
it.
right.
It will be there. All right, so Widow, another fascinating look from Shout Factory. It looks so spectacular here, doesn't it? One that I actually had to one that I put on as a filler. I only put 2 on as filler, so this is the other one. In a very densely forested area in North St. Petersburg, people have been going missing for 3 decades. Very few corpses were ever found, and few that were discovered were naked. On 14th of October 2017, a team of volunteers went into the woods in search of the missing teenager. Soon all communication with them was lost. Locals believe they were taken by some dark spirit and took off with the others. They call it the Limping Widow. So based off a basic true story.
So this is essentially a Russian Blair Witch.
Yeah, I want to say I have seen this. If I'm thinking correctly, it's not bloody at all, but it's very intense. With these scares and so on. And it looked fun. And I remember, if this is the one I'm thinking of, it was good. But I could be wrong, but it still would be very interested, so I'm going to put it as a curious.
Okay. I do not like that cover. It does nothing for me. I am willing to go meh, because from the sound of it, I might be all right with the movie. But yeah, I could have done better packaging there. Okay, now we have Persona, which is another Criterion release, Ingmar Bergman film. This is not their first release of said film. And I'm actually at a loss to know exactly what makes this one special.
Looks like the old release. I'm guessing they just...
It looks like
I think it's a reissue. That would be my guess.
It's probably just a reissue. They don't even have a listing on their site for this.
Yeah.
Well, they do, but not like anything different. It's not on the upcoming releases. So it's essentially a re-release, apparently, of the Ingmar Bergman classic film Persona. That's really all I have to say on that. If you did not, as we did, go for that lovely Bergman set, and you have not completed your Bergman collection, have at it. From what I understand, this film is a yes, please. It is apparently a film to get. But yeah.
I can agree with yes, please on it. I owned it in both this version and I owned it in the in the Ingram collection. I
All
mean,
right.
in Bergman, but you know that one, that collection.
You'll get there.
And but I did sell my copy of it, but I guess I could get it new now, like a brand new reissue of it.
Yeah, you could.
So one that's a higher priority, and God darn it, another one that looks like it's going to be hard as nails to get is the Wonder Woman 84. Let's see here. Oh wait, no, that's the original Wonder Woman. Okay,
yeah, you're
good.
looking
Thank
up Wonder
goodness.
Woman.
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried because I'm like, darn it, I need to get that one. The other one I can deal with, but okay, thank God.
There you go.
It's still up for pre-order. Good. Another one I'm waiting until I
Or
get
not
paid.
pay for it.
Until I get paid to get it. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's better than some. I liked it better than the Snyder Cut. But that's but that is what it is.
Right.
It was still a fun film. It was enjoyable, and I am collecting all of these on Steelbook. Now, if you don't have this one, and you don't have the original one, there is a double feature coming out as well.
Yep.
So you can get both films on Blu-ray, but I have to get them all on Steelbook. So it is unfortunately a priority for me. I would actually consider this one a priority as well because it has the original Wonder Woman on it, and if I didn't have it and I wasn't doing the Steelbooks, this would be in my collection.
Well, I'm going to drop 84 to yes, please, because it is not a priority for me, but I definitely intend to get it. Now, the other one's debatable. I consider the first Wonder Woman a priority. If you don't have it, you should get it. And getting a 2-pack where you have both of them is a good, logical way to do it. So, yeah, what the hell? We'll leave that on priority.
All right.
Okay. Next up, we have the Mike Leigh film, Secrets and Lies. This is one that we have featured in the past on our Criterion videos as one that desperately needs a Criterion release. The reason being, this is by far the most recent film I have not seen that was nominated for Best Picture. This was a 1996 release that was up for Best Picture and then practically fell out of just disappeared. Like you just can't find it. And so it's been out of print for a few years now. An expert observer of unembellished humanity, writer-director Mike Leigh reached new levels of expressive power and intricacy with this exploration of the deceptions, small and large, that shape our relationships. When Hortense, a black optometrist who was adopted as a child, begins a search for her birth mother, she doesn't expect that will lead her to Cynthia, and neither would I from the look of them. Anyway, a lonely white factory worker whose tentative embrace of her long-lost daughter sends shockwaves through the rest of her already fragile family. Now, again, not to stick my foot in it, but I do wonder about the casting for that setup, but I don't think they look alike at all. But anyway, the idea is interesting, though, especially in this day and age. It's an interesting, and Brenda Blethyn and Marianne Jean-Baptiste are both very solid actresses, so I'm sure they do well. Mike Leigh does make very, very, very good movies in the sense that he gives his actors room to really inhabit their characters. And that can work really great for a character piece like Vera Drake. On very rare occasion, it can be exciting. I really enjoyed Topsy Turvy. But there's also Another Year and Mr. Turner, which both were about as exciting as watching paint dry. So I don't know what I will think of this movie, but I need to see it, and it has been out of print. So I am very happy that Criterion is releasing it. It seems like the kind of movie that's in their wheelhouse. It does have some good bonus features, but again, they could have sprung for a little more. This one is on my July list. I will be getting this, so I will call it a priority. Whatever my reservations about whether I'll enjoy it or not, I will be getting it. And good on Criterion for listening to us.
Usually, when I have no ability to get a hold of a film before the Oscars, I tend to be less than interested in it if it didn't win. For more of my stubborn reasons. I also don't have much interest in the film overall. I would say it's actually, I wouldn't pass it up if it was given to me, but otherwise it's definitely not on my list. So I would say a high meh. So that would take it, let's see here, from there.
That's an 8.0. Yeah, this was up for 5 Oscars, but it went home empty-handed, unfortunately. But
So
yeah,
there we go. We've got ourselves a nice, interesting thing.
Yeah.
No hell knows, which is good. Shoot.
you did skip at least one of them that was on my list, and I think it bears mention.
Well, you had
though.
said that one was one that only if you didn't have enough to keep up with. That was
the big bust out. But I
Yeah.
also picked "Isn't She Great" as one that I wanted to cover. And Makeshift was on my list too, so you took a few of them off. But anyway, so Isn't She Great is worth noting, if only because of a couple of things. One, the cast. You got Bette Midler, Nathan Lane, David Hyde Pierce, and John Cleese. That right there, David Hyde Pierce and John Cleese. I have to see the film eventually. You've also got Amanda Peet and Tucker Channing. But it's also about the woman who wrote Valley of the Dolls. Isn't that one of Dane's favorites?
Yeah, he likes that one.
Yeah. So I figured that one's worth a mention, if only for that. But yeah.
All right. Yeah, nothing here on my list. I'm surprised Femme Object wasn't on your list as well. That seems stylish.
I considered it. I mean, the big bust out was going to be my risque pick, if you will.
I'm kind of glad I didn't add those. I would have had to figure out some more out of this list, and I didn't have anything I really wanted.
Oh, and then Falcon Rising. Falcon Rising looks boring as hell, but I mean, come on, you got Black Dynamite and Damien Dark in the same movie. It can't be that bad.
So this is what we got so far.
Yep. Pretty heavy on the good stuff.
So yeah, we didn't, and none of us picked a hell no. None of us went that far, so that's pretty good. Yeah. So pretty good overall. But with that saying, I hope you've enjoyed this. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and of course, share. But we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Goodbye.